What's good with y'all? This your boy Boss. I want to thank you for checking out the channel. And on today's episode of In Other News, we'll be talking about, is Jay-Z ready to sell his streaming platform Tidal? But before we get to that story, let's get into the first story of today, which is Mulatto finally about to change her rap name because of all the controversy surrounding it. So let's get right into it. Is it finally time for a change? After receiving backlash for quite some time for her rap name, it looks like Mulatto is making a switch. She sat down on the Shade Room to address the backlash and the calls for her name to change in a climate that was labeling her a colorist. I'm not a colorist, but the internet gonna do what they do. I cannot convince people that already don't like me otherwise, so I'm not gonna have a stroke about it, Mulatto stated. That's why I'm doing my little part on the back end, like learning about today and talking about my name change and stuff like that, to also dead it on my end because I feel like that kind of contributes to that. As far as when that name change will happen, Mulatto was less clear. It's still in the works, like people gotta understand that too. At the level in artist career, that's not just something that happens overnight, she said, or it's not something that even happens, period, because there's so much money and investments on the line when you do that, but it's definitely in the works, like I'm considering it for sure. Do you think she should change her name? So, let's talk about this for a minute. Mulatto is an up-and-coming rapper that's been getting a lot of notoriety as of late. She's from Atlanta. I first heard about her on Jermaine Dupri's Lifetime rap contest show called The Rap Game. That's when I first heard about her. I think she actually won that contest, but she declined to sign to So Def for whatever reason she had, and that's her right to do that. But she went on to do great things and be independent. Right now, I think she's signed to, I want to say to Warner Brothers. I'm not for sure, but I think that's the label she's signed to. And I want to talk about this colorist shit because I've been seeing this pop up with her name over the last few months. Now, mulatto is a racist term, and I understand why some people would be upset, but it's just, it fits her name. Like, I just don't get the, well, I do get it, but at the same time, I just feel like it's a lot. The internet and just the world we live in today, they not trying to let nothing pass. They gonna go with everything. They gonna cry about everything. And I just don't see why she has to change her name just to make everybody else happy when she's not picking that name to be in no malice or malicious content. Like, I don't see why people, I could see if she had that name and she was saying bad things about other people that look a certain way or has a certain complexion and shit like that. I could see then the outrage, but she's not doing that. But as we all know, a lot of people will buckle to the pressure and heed to what the internet is saying and fucking do what they want them to do. At the same time, I do think she should change the name, because she just gonna keep running into this, because this been like a running joke for the last maybe 3-4 months. I done seen her name in this colorist shit pop up over and over and over again. So I think it is a good thing that she's trying to change her name so she can dead this whole thing, because at the end of the day, you want to be a successful artist, and in her right, she is becoming a successful artist, and she just don't have to worry about this bullshit that everybody just you don't want your name attached to any of this kind of bullshit. So I think it's a good idea that she does change her name, even though if I was her, I probably would be stubborn and stuck in my ways and just tell y'all to go fuck y'allself. That's just me personally. But I do think it's a good idea. And hopefully after she do change her name, because she do go by the moniker Big Lotto, which I like that name. So I don't know if that's what she gonna change it to, which I think that's what she should change it to, since she already got the ball rolling with that. So if she go with Big Lotto, people know who she is. She won't really have to do too much distinguishing of, oh, this is my new name, this is my old name. People should know who she is. But that's the story on that. I'll keep y'all posted as the story develops. But let's get into the next story of today. In other news, let's get to the next story of today, which is the Nashville bomber may have been paranoid over 5G technology. The Nashville bomber may have had motive that had nothing to do with hurting people, it seems. The FBI believes he may have been paranoid over 5G technology. As you know, one of the structures damaged was the AT&T building. The person of interest authorities are honing in on is 63-year-old Anthony Quinn Warner. May have feared 5G was being used to spy on Americans. This is according to the report by the NBC affiliates in Nashville. The FBI interviewed a Nashville real estate agent who had hired Warner to do IT for him. Agents asked the realtor if Warner had mentioned anything about his feelings toward 5G technology, but he had not. As we reported, Warner had an RV on his property that was similar to the one carrying explosives that detonated on Christmas Day in the business district of Nashville, knocking out AT&T service. There's another interesting turn. Warner apparently had conveyed the property to the 29-year-old woman last month. This according to the New York Post. He transferred title without charging her a penny. The woman told the Post she had no knowledge of the transfer. Warner and his RV have not been seen since the bombing, at least not publicly. As we reported, tissue was found at the scene, which authorities say could be human remains. The operating theory seems to be this was a suicide bombing. So, let's talk about this. First and foremost, I want people to stop with this 5G shit. 5G ain't hurting shit. 5G is not hurting shit. 5G is not the first fucking frequency that cell phone towers and cell phone operators had came up with. We started with Edge, then we moved to 2G, then we moved to 3G, then we moved to 4G, then 4G LTE, and now we at 5G. 5G is not hurting nobody. Let's stop with the conspiracy theories. I'm sick of hearing that bullshit. I remember when the coronavirus shit first popped off, motherfucker was saying, oh, it's the 5G towers that's making everybody sick. Just dumb ass shit. Now we got this dumb ass in Nashville that done blew up a fucking building because he worried about 5G technology spying on us. Let's get this straight, people. If you don't know, the government is spying on us. Your phone is recording everything you saying. You say something 1 minute, you open up Instagram and the shit you just said is popped up on your fucking phone. Let's stop with the fucking shenanigans, bro, because I'm sick of this bullshit, bro. We do not have freedom and privacy. So let's stop right there. All this fake woke shit. Oh, I carry an Apple device because I care about privacy. Privacy this, privacy that. You ain't got no fucking privacy. Unless you got a fucking flip phone and no phone at all, no kind of wireless devices, there ain't no such thing as privacy. So let's stop that bullshit. We got this dumbass motherfucker blowing up shit, and I don't know if anybody got hurt. Somebody did die. It was probably his ass, and if he did, good riddance. But we got to stop this bullshit. And y'all stay safe out here because there's a lot of idiots like this out there that's spewing stupid ass shit like this. Or even shit that's way wilder than this. Just stay safe and I'll keep y'all posted as this story develops. In other news, let's get to the last story of today, which is Jay-Z might be on the verge of selling his streaming platform Tidal to Square, the company that owns Cash App. So this is what the Hamptons yacht ride was all about. The tech billionaire Jack Dorsey has reportedly held talks with Jay-Z about his payment firm Square acquiring Tidal, the Brooklyn-born rapper's music streaming service. Dorsey, also the co-founder and CEO of Twitter, is interested in taking over Tidal in the effort to diversify Square's business, Bloomberg News reported Wednesday, citing an unnamed source familiar with the situation. It's unclear how much the Cash App parent might be willing to pay for Tidal, and the discussions may not lead to a deal according to the outlet. But reports come after the business duo were spotted in August lounging on a yacht in the Hamptons with Jay-Z's wife Beyonce. The tech tycoon and music mogul were seen again last month hanging out on the beach with Sean Penn. The Empire State of Mind artist started shopping Tidal 2 years after he bought it for $56 million in 2015, thinking he could get $1 billion for it, the executive said. Instead of selling it outright, he got a partner in the wireless carrier Sprint, who bought a 33% stake at a $600 million valuation. Jay-Z has been trying to dump Tidal for a long time, the executive told the Post. The question is, can they dump it? Tidal isn't worth anything without Jay-Z, the source said. If they did a deal, it will only be because of him and Tidal's video. Dragging Tidal down, according to the exec, are in sagging subscribers and lack of strong leadership thanks to 4 CEO departures in the last 5 years, including the recent exit of Richard Sanders, who joined the Cobalt Music Group. So, let's talk about this for a minute. I remember when Jay-Z had bought Tidal, and he bought it from a company that was, I think it was called Aspiro, something like that. That's what it used to be called. He bought it for $56 million. Then he changed the name to Tidal, and he tried to do something for the artists. He brought in all these artists: Madonna, Nicki Minaj, Kanye West at the time. I want to say Coldplay, all these artists, and he gave them ownership in Tidal because this was supposed to be the streaming service for artists. You know what I'm saying? So they did this big old press conference, and they seen all these artists that was worth millions and millions of dollars, and that didn't sit well with people. So they got off to a rocky start, even though I feel like Tidal is better than Apple Music and Spotify. But it always goes back to narrative. If the narrative is not right, you're going to have an uphill battle. And like I said, he bought this for $56 million. He sold a 33% stake to Sprint for $600 million. So he already won. He sold 33% of it for $600 million. So he already got his money back 3 times over plus. You know what I'm saying? So if this deal goes through and say he sell it for $1 million, $2 billion, whatever he sell it for, well, I say $1 million, $2 billion, $1 billion, $2 billion, he looking at straight profit, and I think this is a great deal for Jay-Z. Now, I know I said on the last video when I was talking about Wayne selling his masters and stuff, why are we as black people always quick to take the buck and not hold on to our ownership and things like that? I still do agree with my statement that I made there, but in this situation, it's totally different. Like, Jay-Z, since the inception of Tidal, has been going through an uphill battle with Tidal. And like, I just got off the phone with my brother, and we was talking about this shit, and it's like, people have already picked a side. You know what I'm saying? When you give people options, people pick their options and they stick with them. People chose Apple Music and Spotify. You know what I'm saying? Those are the main two. You got YouTube Music, Amazon Music, and others like that, Deezer, shit like that, Napster. But for the majority of it, people chose Apple Music and Spotify. Just like the phones. People chose Apple and Samsung. You got others like Motorola, Google. You know what I'm saying? You got other players in the game, but people have picked their sides and they not moving. So I do think he should dump it. And it will be a great business move. He spent $56 million for the service, built it up, and probably about to sell it for $1 billion, $2 billion. Who knows whether he gonna settle on, if he do actually sell his shit. So I think it's a great business move, and I think people should do that. It's a time and a place where we should hold on to ownership, and at the same time, it's a time and a place when we should build shit up, get the equity, and then get that big payday. In the form of Lil Wayne with his masters, he should have held on to that shit because he lowballed himself way too low. But in this situation, Jay-Z finna win, bro. It is what it is. I think it's gonna be a good deal. I hope whenever this news do come out that he do get him $1 million or $1 billion, because I love Jay-Z's business acumen. He's a great businessman. So I want to thank y'all for checking out today's episode of In Other News, and I appreciate every view. If it's 1 view, 2 views, or 1 million views, I appreciate every view. Thank y'all. I'll catch y'all on the next one, and peace. I'm out.